All right, so I'm gonna do a Star Wars tier list, but this isn't a. This is only for live action. No one's ranking in here is based on what they did in an animated series like the Clone Wars or Rebels. I'm only taking into consideration the live action. Okay, so first up, we have Cad Bane, who appeared in the Book of Boba Fett live action, and he was pretty cool. He came off as a badass. I think the first scene he was in, they had a standoff, took down two guys at the same time. Pause. But yeah, aura, immediate aura. Cad Bane, I can't say S because I mean, one episode of a TV show that most people don't like, I can't rank him too high, but I'd say solid B for what little I got to see of him. Next, we have May from Acolyte, the most forgettable Star Wars show I've ever seen. Personally, she's a big reason for that. Killed some Jedis? Yes. Interesting? No. Threatening? No. Memorable? Absolutely not. No. It took me a couple seconds to even memorize the name of the TV show. Yeah, she did a lot. She had every episode to show out, and I was just not interested even a little bit. One smooth fight scene, that was the first one. Everything after that, just bad. Not good. Not interesting, even in the slightest. Then we have Hux from the newest trilogy, who started out with some promise in The Force Awakens, and then everything after that, he's a glorified henchman with more screen time. He did nothing, actually. Nothing at all. And then he ended up being a spy, so yeah. Then there's Jango Fett from the Clone Wars. He had a good fight. With Kenobi, but I think the most memorable thing Jango Fett did was get his head chopped off by Mace Windu. Just off of drip and having a solid fight scene, I'd give him a C. There wasn't any real aura, but he at least had a moment with Kenobi. Next, we got Boba Fett. I've seen the Book of Boba Fett. I've also watched the original Star Wars trilogy. He's like I think Boba Fett is the original bounty hunter in that first trilogy. Yeah, that being said, I can't give Boba Fett a S just based off of design. And now something I've realized while thinking about this tier list is the fact that most of the villains in Star Wars don't actually get enough room to do anything besides just, yep, hey, I'm evil. I'm going to blow some stuff up. No, the more I think about it, I can't really think of anything Boba Fett really did. He just looks cool. Boba Fett is a B. Boba Fett is actually a B. He's iconic, yes. But name one thing Boba Fett did in live action that makes him an A. I can't think of anything, actually. I can't think of a single thing. If we're talking live action, I think Jango Fett actually did more than Boba Fett. Yeah, no. They're swapping places. Boba Fett could be a D if he didn't look cool. I think Jango Fett actually did more than Boba Fett in live action. Then there's Moff Gideon, easily has the dopest looking weapon on this list. Mace Windu, yeah, He has the. I'll talk about him later. Never mind. Okay. Yeah, Moff Gideon easily has the best weapon on this list, the dark saber. So I'd give Moff Gideon a B. No, Moff Gideon is a solid A. You got a good performance. You got a villain who got to do some stuff instead of just, hey, don't I look cool in the background? Moff Gideon is an A. I can't even lie. I'm gonna Reva. Yeah, I thought I was gonna have to Google her name. The Reva from Kenobi. Reva is a D, man. No sauce at all. Zero sauce. Zero sauce. I was not threatened. She came off like a douche. And then in the end, she just ended up not having the balls to be a Sith in the first place. So she was just acting tough for the entire series. You know what? Just because I just did her, I'm going to go over to the Inquisitor who got stabbed up by her. Now, I don't think I really need to go into detail about his drip because that shit was ass. Everything he had on, you know what? I'm not even going to get into detail. I'll put a picture like right down there. Which would the boxes? Okay. I'll put a picture right down there. Right down there. Rate the fit 1 through 10. Then there's Dryden Voss, the first and only mob boss in Star Wars. The character, obviously, Star Wars villain, so he didn't get to do too much. What little scenes he did have were meh. Not bad enough to be a D. He was quite generic, but I mean, that's to be expected to some extent. Unique design. I'll give credit where credit is due. The design was cool. His weapon was nice. It's like a what would you even call that? Brass knuckles with a dagger on each side of them, kinda. That was cool to some extent. Next is Kylo Ren. And I can't shit on Kylo Ren too bad because I've shit on everybody else for not having room to do anything. He definitely had time. He had time to do something. And I'll be honest. After The Last Jedi, fell off of a cliff. Yeah, no, he's done more than anybody else on this list. Way more character development. His own story kind of turned to shit after The Last Jedi, but I mean, that's everybody's story, am I right? Kylo Ren is not iconic enough to be an S, but all the way up until the last movie, which movie? No, that was the second one when he had his shirt off. Kylo Ren gets a B, man. I can't. I'm not trying to go back and forth, but the scene where he took his shirt off, I'm still confused about that to this day. What was that even about? Negative 10,000 points right there for taking his shirt off. Then we got General Grievous. Very generic, but I ain't gonna lie. 4 lightsabers at the same time. Yeah, no, I'll give credit where credit is due. General Grievous was not a thoroughly explored villain, but he looked cool as fuck. His fight with Kenobi was dope. Yeah, the fight with Obi-Wan was cool. He doesn't look like anybody else in the series. He doesn't fight like anybody else in the series. He doesn't have the Force. He just has extra limbs and extra lightsabers. General Grievous off just vibe alone gets an A. Just off of straight vibe gets an A. Jabba the Hutt. I don't know if this is a popular opinion. Jabba the Hutt is a solid D. Iconic, yes. Memorable, yes. Tell me one thing Jabba the Hutt did at any point of note? What did he do of note in anything he's been in? He had Princess Leia as a slave. Okay. Cool. We get to see her in a bikini. That's nice. Yeah. Jabba never did anything. I don't remember anything other than Leia being in a bikini. That's it. That's all I know him for. Then there's Darth Maul, who easily has the best design of anybody on this list. And the best fight of anyone on this list. He fought two Jedi at the same time. Qui-Gon Jinn and Obi-Wan. And, well, no, that's not. Would I say either of them were in their prime? Okay, so Qui-Gon Jinn was clearly past his prime, and Obi-Wan Kenobi was entering his prime. And Darth Maul almost pulled off the handicap. You know what? I'm not taking any credit away. He fought two Jedi at the same time. It doesn't matter if they're in their prime or not. Darth Maul, that's an easy S for me. Not the big boss, but my God. Count Dooku. I've never been a fan of the name. But I'd be lying if I said he didn't really carry the I'd be lying if I said he didn't carry the prequels. For me, as far as antagonist goes, he carried the prequels for me. Count Dooku is not an S, but he's a solid A. He's the best A. You know, I'm not going to put them in order like that. But for him, yes. I did enjoy seeing him get his hands cut off, though. Yeah, Count Dooku is another one who didn't really get to do too much. I know a little bit of his backstory, but it's not like they went into it in depth in the movie. It's crazy to think about, though. All these characters who get a TV show and nobody thinks that, you know what? Count Dooku would be a good one. Phasma. Dope design. Villain who did not get to do anything at all. She's better than them. Yeah. Phasma didn't really do too much, but she had better lines than the rest of these people down here. Easily the most dripped out stormtrooper. The most dripped out stormtrooper I've seen. I did like the ones in the red. That was dope. But yeah, Phasma did nothing, but she looks cool. She gets a C for looking cool. Then we have the stranger from Acolyte who, that's a tough one. Because I hate the show, but I got to give credit. His weapons were dope. His fight scenes were dope. The writing in the show was not good. He also got to do more than the people in the C category. But it would feel strange if I put a character from Acolyte at B with Cad Bane. That doesn't even sound right. That doesn't sound right or feel right, actually. It doesn't sound right or feel right, but I can acknowledge, what is the saying? A broken clock is right like twice a day or something like that. The Acolyte is not a good TV show. This particular villain was interesting enough in the show, though. It's just everything else around it is just makes no sense. Like the sausage lightsaber. I know it's a thing, but in live action, it looks like a limp dick. There's no other way to put it. Then we have Thrawn from the Ahsoka live action show, which I actually did like for some reason. It was entertaining. And while it did have that vibe of feeling kind of forced at times. The writing was decent enough for me to just enjoy and ignore the random bullshit they were forcing on me. Thrawn did nothing of note. And I know he's an alien, but his design just looks goofy as shit to me. Thrawn is a D. Now I understand he's probably done some shit in the books. I know there is a entire novel based on this guy. I know that exists. This is not based on that. This is about live action. Don't come for me. He's a D in live action. Prove me wrong. Okay, so I'm a dumbass. I completely forgot to add Darth Vader to this, but Darth Vader is an obvious S. I mean, I could explain it. I don't know. Do you need an explanation? I did think about splitting up Darth Vader and Anakin and maybe just doing like a separate, but that doesn't really make much sense because by the time Anakin switches over to being Darth Vader, the line is so close that it is the same character at that point. It's just one that speaks without the voice. Then for my favorite Sith, personally, we got Emperor Palpatine or Sidious. I'm definitely not my favorite scene, but probably one of my favorites when he's dying, when he's fighting Mace Windu and he's just getting drained and you see his face just shriveling up and he's transforming. Easy S for me. Really easy S for me. Almost the easiest S. Well, no, him and Darth Vader, both good. It's just Sidious has way more quotable lines. Like you could get that if you were one of those people, you could get that like tattooed on you. Do it. Yeah, Darth Sidious could definitely be in a Nike commercial. So that is my Star Wars tier list. Let me know what you think. We can argue in the comments. I'm standing on business when it comes to that Jabba the Hutt. Matter of fact, he's at the back of D. The back of it. Wait, no. She's at the back of D, but he's right back there too. Thank you for watching.